Hey guys, welcome back to the episode. This is a continuation of our last episode, so if you haven't already, go back and check that one out, because otherwise this won't make any sense. Actually, probably won't make sense anyway. Enjoy!
From last week's, or last time's really
guys.
long
This is
topic.
Yeah, can we record a new one of those later?
Who's got a topic?
I'm
got
going to be
ones.
doing. So we were talking about mental health and stuff like that. Is all these like catastrophes, if you want to call them catastrophes. People bringing in guns everywhere, and it's like I feel like people are not educated enough, or at least not necessarily educated, but when it comes to common sense or critical thinking, logical. I'm going to be bringing this back. This is a two-part. This is a part 2 of logical fallacies. I feel when you do more thinking logically, you can make better decisions instead of reacting. When you increase the time for your reaction time, you have that time that, how do I want to say it?
So if
You're
you
not gonna
don't
make more
come as
mistakes.
fast, you can last longer.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes. But yeah, so recap. What was our logical fallacies? Do you guys remember what we talked about last
We
time?
talked about this on episode 3, didn't we?
30.
30. That's
Oh.
different from 3.
Well,
But
I
that
wasn't
was
here,
still-
so
That was still like
I
over
don't even-
2 years ago.
It was 2 years
I
ago.
forgot what you even said 30 seconds ago.
Me too.
no, we were talking about his dick. You remember?
That was last week.
Oh,
That was
So-
a little.
or Monday,
I feel like
depending on when these come out.
when you understand certain concepts or logical fallacies, like you can kind of pinpoint a flaw in people's reasoning or logic. It's like, oh, okay, I see where you're going wrong here is because you're thinking like this. But if like, for me, logical fallacies is kind of like math. Math is always correct. 2 plus 2 is always 4, unless it's not, depending on what kind of fucked up math you're doing. I don't know what they're
New
teaching
math.
these kids
Millard
these
math.
days, but yeah, so you can either find a break in their reasoning or pretty much pinpoint their dishonest stance, because sometimes it is actually intentional. They're intentionally trying to be dishonest to try to veer a conversation someplace. So we discussed straw man fallacies and gaslighting on episode 30. Go back and see some of those.
See?
Listen,
What about slippery
Don't
slope?
it's about the same.
Oh,
I mean, you kind of work your way into it. I mean, there's a dozen. I used to have a wall right here with fallacies. You can see all the fallacies. Yes.
All
We're
those-
not talking about that anymore.
All those
so,
flaccid fallacies.
Yeah. So
Why'd you point at me when you're...
because you said the last time, one of the last, like you were so excited when I discussed it, but like thought we were talking about fallatios. I'm like, no, it's falafel.
falafels?
Yes, that actually sounds good too. I want to. It's like gyros. Never mind.
Not gyros.
So-
Gyros.
One of the ones I want to discuss today, I got 3 of them. So, argument from ignorance. I feel like
You're
Ronnie,
still staring at me.
but I feel like
even
you
said
might
your name.
have.
Are you just looking at me because you know I'm the only one paying attention?
Well, yes. I mean, I feel like he's already turned off.
He's
so-
pointing at Jeremy.
and John's getting comfortable. He's
I
probably
did.
gonna grab-
Oh,
Okay.
you're comfortable.
I'm in a couch.
I saw him.
You're so laser focused on me.
My pants are off.
I feel
can,
like
Well-
this is just for us.
I can
So,
see John's fallacy from over here.
You sure are staring at a lot of people's cocks tonight.
know.
I'm
That's
like,
the
you're
second.
where his
all
eyes go.
there. Well, just look at it. It's like, my
He
God,
literally took his pants off
he's
earlier.
wearing fucking Clark Griswold shorts.
No, these are like 70s basketball.
First you say, hold on, pause on your topic, and it's very important. I'll let you get back to it. First thing you say when you come into the room is, we should look at each other's cocks. What happened to you when you were gone?
I missed you guys.
I missed him too. I feel like it's been 2 months. Yeah, it has been 2 months.
It
Hasn't it?
has been. And I'm also holding a.
You've been,
You've been holding a midget drumstick for 45
That-
And it has like
minutes now.
it's
It's getting me in
endeavored.
the
That's-
groove for drumming.
reminds me
that
of-
stick was like 4.5 inches thicker before you started playing with
Look
it.
at all the
look
teeth
at
mark.
the grip on it.
Okay. Anyway, back to what you were saying about your fallacies.
Yep, back.
Argument from ignorance.
Argument from
Is-
ignorance.
It's also AKA appeal to ignorance.
What about appeal to emotions?
That kind of goes almost alongside with it, but this is kind of it's pretty much it's a type of fallacy when one makes a claim that something is true because it has not been proven false or vice versa. So in Latin it's called the argumentum ad ignorarium. It's kind of hard to say.
sounds like
You
it.
sound like John Wayne.
Hey.
Ignorare.
She wants to get a little freaky tonight. So, argument from ignorance. It requires you to try to do the impossible by proving a negative. And since you can't, they feel it gives power to their argument, or it allows listeners or followers of the conversation to bandwagon as though that gives validity, which a lot of the times I engage in certain conversations online, and I know I'm not necessarily reaching the person I'm engaging with, but the people who kind of read, I guess, the conversations or the threads with it, it's like they might get more from it than the person, because a lot of the times when you try to engage with somebody, they'll drive their feet in, they'll just stand fast on their position. And it's like, well, you're just being ignorant now. Like, you're not even listening. It's like you're not willing to change your mind. And it's like, if you know you're ignorant about something, then be honest. My main thing is like having honest conversations. And so when you can talk about one thing and not like, it's like saying, I give an example of this. So it's like somebody says, went into this house and I felt something, and it was a ghost. I know it was a ghost. It's like, how do you know it was a ghost?
What's your proof behind proving it was a ghost?
It's like, you can't say it wasn't a ghost, or sorry, you can't say it wasn't anything else, or you haven't
like
exhausted. There's so many other things. And usually in my example, because I'm a little bit more skeptical with things like that, and it's like, I feel like there's usually a natural explanation for most anything. Some people are like, oh, this radar thing just went off. It's like, well, there's a fucking outlet right there, and it probably still has like a charge to it. You're probably reading something like that. You're wearing metal. There's something. I mean, like, it could be many of things. But if you're going to say it is this, I know it was this, you can't tell me otherwise. It's like, okay, you're not opened enough.
And that
Those
plays
are people I don't have conversations with.
into my topic coming up. So
Gotcha.
No, it doesn't.
it does too. Fuck you. You don't know. I'll come over there and suck your dick.
I was doing an example.
I seen it.
I was doing an example of
I'll
what Justin's
suck
talking
that
about.
dick worse than you've ever had it sucked before. It won't even be enjoyable.
Well,
I'll hate it.
You'll hate the shit out of it.
That might be a logical fallacy. That might be a appeal to ignorance. How do you know it's going to be the worst blowjob?
You're
I
asking
don't.
John?
Yeah,
I mean, he's the one making
that
the
said
claim.
it. Yeah, I didn't say-
I condition my beard all the time. It's soft.
Oh.
That
John
sounds
can come on
wonderful.
anything.
I've seen it.
And
Actually, all
has.
the other.
I've seen it.
Yes.
Could you
No.
come on anything?
No.
Like if Lonnie was between your legs? Gross.
So
You guys took it
the
there
thing
that
is,
Well,
when it comes to like
I'm
claims,
not masturbating tonight.
when it comes to a claim,
He is now.
you have to provide the evidence
Right.
when making a claim. A lot of people, they confuse the word claim with another claim. You're like, this is true because this book says it's true. It's like, no, you're making a claim that another thing that is making a claim. Those are not two different. One of them is not evidence. It's not a
Claim-inception.
proof. Yeah, claimception. That's pretty much what it is.
A claim within a claim.
So, argument from ignorance, it assumes a false dichotomy between true and false, or blatantly ignores the possibility that there may be insufficient evidence or investigation to determine the truth value of a proposition. So, it's usually not a one or another. You're saying, like, let's go back to last week when you said something about like somebody had an issue with a mental health diagnosis or something like that when acquiring a firearm. It's like, maybe there can be more thought, because this is one of those heavy conversations that needs a lot more nuance
Oh, yeah.
to develop it. But it's like, you can't say, I don't think there should not be a mental health diagnosis, or not necessarily diagnosis. What's the word I'm looking for? The
Pull it from the air.
questionnaire, or something sort of like a test. You know, it's like, well, why not? Somebody who's taking a weapon of death, like, I think you might want to know that you can trust them with it, that they're trained and proficient with it,
I don't
that
know.
they
Have you
know.
seen me at Call of Duty? Ain't killing anybody.
I've seen you. You did pretty good. You only post the wins.
That's true. I only do most of it.
Okay. Never mind. I seen your page then. But it's like, if you're saying that you can't do something or you can do something, it's like you do have to prove that. You can't just make a picture.
Am I even in that?
No, because you're like in front of me.
I mean, I could probably get one.
Keep talking. This
Sorry.
is terrible radio.
I'm trying to do the picture. Since you're doing a picture, I'm not in that one. It's just your head. So yeah, well, they say that you can't prove it's not a ghost. And I say, well, you have to exhaust all the probabilities. It's like there is so many other. I got to hold it for 5 seconds. Right.
Good radio. like Lonnie said.
So, like another example of the appeal to ignorance. Would you say that giving a blowjob takes some time?
It depends on how aroused the other person is.
All right.
Facts.
So if somebody is sucking a pee-pee, it might make them late for whatever endeavor that they need to.
It depends. Like sometimes if you're like in the right mood or you've got the other person like on the brink, sometimes it just hits the tongue and it's like blah, 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 blah.
Gotcha. So Jeremy was late to this recording or later to this recording. So he had to have been sucking a pee-pee.
Could have.
At least one.
You saw that?
He's
Shared
been
it with the group.
he's been sucking his own pee-pee a lot.
There's
So you
way
gotta
too
blame
many
that.
dicks
gotta blame
conversations in
that
this fucking.
I
on
didn't bring that one
himself.
up.
I'm just trying to tell what we know. Okay. Right. So, I mean, again, that's kind of an appeal to ignorance.
What
An
is
argument from ignorance.
Was it Anaconda malt liquor?
We need a female on this podcast.
We want it changed what we're doing. Then we'd just be making a female uncomfortable.
Yes. We'll be canceled faster. I mean, we'll get more exposure and then we'll get more potential.
We're
to get canceled.
exposing ourselves to her.
Well, guess
You
I
already
am.
exposed yourself to us.
Yep.
it's making a claim out of ignorance or a lack of contrary evidence. There needs to be more to it. If I'm saying that he's late because he was out cheating on us or something like that, all of
I
us,
would never do that to you.
you say that now.
Yeah, that's what Heather said too.
He said he couldn't keep that. He says that he has lots of practice saying that with 3 dicks in his mouth.
All right, you
Lonnie.
guys you're right.
Lonnie.
I missed the last episode because I was on another podcast.
Smell his breath.
Let me smell your dick.
Smell the pee-pee off his breath. Smell that pee-pee breath.
Why does it smell like Axe body spray?
Why are you fucking like? You are really Howard Sterning.
So he's relaxed.
He is. I hope your daughters don't come downstairs.
I sexed on that couch.
That's what I was doing earlier.
Is this a couch you powerbombed your wife on?
Oh, it was upstairs.
I'm on a couch, guys, and I'm very comfortable right now.
This is the one that
The microphone is off the stand. It's in my hand.
he's fucking Bob Barker.
I don't know how his mic got smaller, but he brought his own. He's actually just wearing a lapel.
Whoops.
Higher or lower?
So yeah, some
Come on
more
down.
examples of arguments from ignorance. Obviously, religion, God. When people make a claim against or for, it's like that is kind of a claim to a.
You mean the imaginary sky genie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, whichever one you want to pick. It's like, yeah, there's let's say Christianity, but there's like 2,500 versions of Christianity, maybe thousands
There's
of
a lot
Christianity.
of Christianity. There's
And
a lot of religions based on God,
Yeah.
but there's not like Christianity is the only religion really based on Christ.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're making a positive claim for or against, you still have to provide that evidence.
Right.
I would say there's a lot of more people who are agnostic, and a lot of people confuse Gnosticism and theism. It's like one is a claim to belief and the other one is a claim to knowledge. So it's like you don't know for sure that something exists. You would have to exhaust all probabilities first. So when it comes to like or any sort of concepts or philosophies of an ontology or like existence, I guess, you know, talk of an existence, it's like, yeah, you can't just know 100%.
Right.
I don't think 100%, what do you want to call it? Where's my words?
You don't know.
Not up there.
I think it's harder to be Gnostic nowadays than to be agnostic, just simply for the fact that everything kind of has an explanation that can be seen as Gnostic.
Right.
So,
But I also think that a lot of people get confused because we have a lot of availability to knowledge. Back then, you'd only have to go to like churches,
everything
they were
was seen
librarians.
as a godly act back
Right.
in the day. Like, oh my God, the sun is going behind the moon. That's because of an angry God. Well, we know now it's an eclipse.
The tides go in, the tides go out. We can explain
because of God.
that. No, it's moon phases and stuff like that. Kind of the gravitational pull.
You're
and stuff
bleeding
like
out
that.
of your pussy. That's because you angered the God.
Well, yeah, when people were
That
like
is true, though.
vaccines and
He
stuff like
angered
that.
me.
It's like vaccines cause autism, but do they? It's like you've heard that from here, and now you're going to run with it. Marijuana caused people to go psycho. It's like you saw
That's
this bullshit
true.
movie way back
That's
then. It wasn't
true.
real. Flat Earth or climate change and stuff like that. It's like look at the facts. You have to synthesize with the information that comes in and then come to a reasonable conclusion.
The Earth is flat. The dome that goes around the Earth is round. So the protective plastic dome around the Earth is a dome.
So
We
we're more
all
of like
know
a-
the planet is flat.
We're more like a disc.
We're discs surrounded by a ping pong ball.
And birds aren't real.
Birds
Birds are not.
They are too real. Robots are real.
No, they go on to
Robots are
robots
real.
are. But birds are robots that charge on wires and stuff like that. So just because they don't have that knowledge doesn't mean that
That's
something
crazy to think of that.
Yeah.
Are they?
Did we just blow your fucking mind?
It did. I like really thinking about that. I'm like, man,
This is why
you're onto
things
something.
people believe things.
That's why you get in trouble for killing birds because they're so expensive.
God, that's why
You
they
need a license.
Yeah.
spark when you hit them with a BB.
What do you think that there's no such thing as a cloaca? That's bullshit.
what?
They made that up. Your poop pee hole.
Your poop pee hole.
Your
Yes.
poop pee hole that you can
No.
fuck to impregnate a bird. It's all the same thing.
You
When-
guys are blowing my mind.
One of the final things I have with the argument of ignorance is like a lot of people use the argument of ignorance to shift the burden of proof. The person who is making the claim has the burden of proof. Thank you.
That's government speak for a year.
So yeah,
that
sometimes
what-
it's used.
Why do you think they call it Twitter?
Yeah,
Is that what that movie?
people are fucking twatting all this shit out
Is
here.
that what
man.
that movie Bird on the Wire with Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn is about?
Are you talking about Birdman?
Oh,
No.
That's a good movie.
Oh,
I haven't seen that one yet. I
That
kinda-
is,
Well-
that is a good movie.
I almost picked
See,
it.
we can finally give him
One
the
time.
we can finally give him the envelope of information now that he's catching
The
on.
envelope of information.
So this is another fallacy that I think a lot of people have been caught in, or have been on one, at least on the receiving end. So a lot of
to
people
catch
when
a
they
predator?
don't, yes, a lot of people when they are backed into a corner or when they're driving their heels into a certain position or argument or something like that, and they don't have a rebuttal for anything, they start attacking the person. It's like instead of focusing on
All
the
too common.
yeah,
All
instead
too
of focusing on the idea or the argument or the stance or whatever, it's like breaking that down. You have nothing, so you're going to attack the character of the person. It's like just because, and I hate this that I have to defend certain people that I don't like. Like I'm not a big fan of Trump, but it's like no, he didn't say that.
Right.
You're just accusing him because you don't like him. But
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
if you do not have a focus on truth or the truth of the situation or the matter or whatever, then you're just going to dismiss anything. It's like, yeah, a clock can be right 2 times per day, but it's like,
Unless it's on military.
shut up. So ad
See what
hominem.
he did?
Ad hominem. Well, he didn't make an. Well, I guess he kind of did. I didn't attack him. I just tried to.
You are
dismiss him.
now.
Yeah,
God, look at how red you're getting.
I'm furious. You're making me so angry.
Even
So-
a steak finds a trash can.
What?
Even a steak finds a trash can. Means every now and again you have a good idea. I'm just kidding.
Don't know what that means.
Now I'm attacking you.
Fight.
No, it happens way too often. I know what you're talking about. Let's get back on track.
Ad hominem. Ad hominem attacks. It means pretty much
Yeah.
against the person or against the man. It's a personal attack fallacy or name calling. It's like you don't have a rebuttal. So it's like, well, fuck you. You just do this.
Oh, yeah, well,
you're
you're
just a
gay.
whatever.
Well, your cock's ugly.
I just had a
You
recent
ain't talking about
conversation.
me.
That happens in sports threads all the freaking
Oh,
time.
yeah. Oh,
you,
yeah.
you nail somebody with a fact, and then they're like, "Well, you wouldn't know because you're a Cowboys fan." You get well, that's
But
true.
that doesn't have
Cowboys
anything
fans
to
are
do with
Your
it.
mom's
Well,
pussy.
no, Cowboys fans are idiots, but
Besides the point. So this is kind of a subcategory of like argument of irrelevance. So it's like they're just trying to either deflect or again, they don't have anything. So they're just going to attack you as to have like the last word. So it provides no evidence or reason to support or reject a claim or position. Squizzy.
Gross. Kimchi.
That's pretty much what it was. Ooh. So I had a recent conversation with a friend of mine who, I mean, me and him are in our capoeira class.
They
And-
teach you that stuff? I thought you just like lucked into it while you were falling over.
Well, it is.
Capoeira.
Capoeira is pretty much
Capoeira.
falling with grace. As you
is
can
that like
see.
a thruple?
No,
Oh,
we're a thruple.
oh, duh.
Capoeira. Capoeira.
Thruple.
Yes.
Capoeira.
A thruple of idiots.
Now we'll see who the real capoeira maestro is.
Anyways, so my friend made a
We're so
comment
derailed tonight.
about race. It's every time. So he made a comment about race and he said something along the lines of like systemic racism and whatever. And I'm like, hey, you might want to be careful when saying something like this unless you don't have the proof of this. It's like a lot of people are throwing around like systemic racism. It's like, well, you kind of have to prove it if you're going to say it. And then I got bandwagoned from like a few of his friends. It's like, you're just a white man and all that. It's like, I don't really identify as a white
They
man.
are
or whatever. It's
right.
like, I'm an olive man. Hey,
You're a garlic man.
Hey,
That's what he.
But,
that's what
it's
he
like,
looks up. On
you didn't
porn,
have
all
anything
of the men.
to dismiss. I mean, you easily dismissed me out of the count of my melatonin. It's not melatonin, melanin.
That's what it's like when I
My
go
lack
fishing.
of melanin or whatever. It's like, yeah, I hate when people use this argument. It's like, well, you have to stay in your own lane or something like that. It's like, yeah, I feel like that is a dangerous idea. It's like saying, stay in your own lane, drink from your own fountain. It's like, you don't see how this is dangerous. It's like, you're kind of pretty much preaching Jim Crow stuff, but you're saying you're against Jim Crow. It's like, that's fucking ad hominem attack and stuff like that. It's like, if you're not, when it comes to like, again, school shootings and stuff like that, mental health, if people are not equipped with the tools to learn how to engage in certain conversations that can be constructive, to actually find solutions, to actually get rid of all this BS that kind of lingers with it, how can you accurately express yourself, especially with guys? Guys are more expressive with actions, and it's so easy to find a gun and come to school and stuff like that. It's like, fucking find out what the hell is going on inside, you know? And like conversations, philosophy, stuff like that, like logic and reason and stuff will definitely help. If you're in logical fallacies is pretty much, I think everybody engages in these at least 3, 4, 5 times a day, depending on, like, on their company. But yeah,
You know how we stop school shootings? Get rid of kids.
get rid of school.
No more kids, no more school.
Though this is true.
No more pencils,
Or-
no more books.
You arm the children.
They already have, well, I
With
can't say
robot
that.
laser
Not all
eyes.
children have
Fucking
arms.
best.
I packed your angry
Blown up.
eyes.
Best.
Give them all,
That's not how she says it.
give them all angry eyes and swords. And the ones that survive.
angry eyes. Is that better? Like,
But yeah, no, there's a lot of people who kind of prop up their hatred and call it kindness. Whereas how does it go? It's like some of the best hate is pretty much like a Christian love or something like that. It's like, oh, bless your heart. It's like, that's another way of saying fuck you.
yeah,
You know?
100%. I get that at work all the time.
Instead
And then I
of-
hit them with my car.
Instead of addressing what is being said, they either have nothing to refute it and let pride take over, and they weren't listening to begin with, so it's only attack irrelevant aspects of a person or character. So it's bullshit. It's no reason to engage anymore if you're not really vying for truth or anything. So the last one, Dunning-Kruger effect, and then we'll move on into somebody else's topic
Freddy
here.
Krueger effect. Lonnie's going to like this one.
This is not what he doesn't. He's getting piped for this one. Ooh, I probably shouldn't say piped. He's going to get piped after that. So Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where individuals with low ability or knowledge in a particular domain tend to overestimate their ability or knowledge in that domain. Conversely, individuals who are highly skilled and knowledgeable in a domain tend to underestimate their ability or knowledge. I pretty much said the same thing twice. So it's like, oh, I know Martin Luther King was this and Caesar was this or whatever. So whatever you have to say about that conversation or situation, you don't even have to open your mouth. It's like, well, it's kind of also an argument of ignorance too. I am ignorant in that, and you probably have, like, it pretty much puts my knowledge base higher, or at least I assume that knowledge. But it's like I'm ignorant at it. I feel like I said that right.
Step one's admitting it, Justin.
So the effect was first described in 1999 research paper by David Dunning and Justin Kruger, not Freddie.
That's all right.
All right.
It's his uncle.
So they conducted a series of experiments that demonstrated how individuals with low ability in areas such as grammar, humor, logic, how that tended to overestimate their abilities.
Basically, why dumb people don't know they're dumb.
Yes.
And not funny people think they're funny.
Yes. Why are you looking at me?
I'm not looking at anybody.
Are you looking at me or through me?
I'm looking at that doll behind you.
That dowel?
Dowel or doll?
The dowel?
Doll.
Playing with dowels over here? So I think John kind of recapped that pretty good. So yeah, people who are stupid don't know they're stupid. It's like people who are dead, they don't know they're dead. That is pretty much a spiritual version of Dunning-Kruger, the fifth element.
Sixth sense.
Yes.
Fourth
So-
kind.
Again, the importance, and I might be doing another one of these in 2 years. Who knows? Logical
I'm looking
fallacies.
forward to it.
Thank you. The excitement. What is that?
That's false ignorance.
What is that? Eyes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Are you giving me bedroom eyes?
I just stumbled upon an
Always.
article that says the Dunning-Kruger effect is probably not real. So
Well, they would have to prove that, right?
so we'll look into that.
No, it sounds.
When it comes to like logical fallacies, I feel like it fallacies. It helps you become a better conversationalist. It helps you identify any faults of your own. Like, it's like, maybe I am wrong in this. And I don't think a lot of people question their own stance on certain things. They feel like they know. It's kind of Dunning-Kruger. It is an argument of ignorance. It's like, you're not exhausting all of the stuff. You have to practice these certain things. It constructs effective arguments. You kind of find solutions. When you can exercise your critical thinking skills or your reasoning, you can come to solutions a lot more, well, reasonable. And yeah.
I was like, the end?
Engaging in constructive debate, improving critical thinking skills, avoiding making logical errors so you can kind of self-correct, developing better decisions, recognizing biases. And I think a lot of people usually start with this. I feel like if you're open, or if you at least know your own biases, it's like, yeah, I am a fan of this movie or team or whatever, and I know that, but I'm going to try to like detach from myself and look at it reasonably, or like how everybody else would be, maybe on an average, or maybe try to steel man certain things. It's kind of like the opposite of straw manning. Straw manning is like pitting something up and then just trying to tear it down, whereas steel manning is pretty much trying to, from your position, say how accurately it might be. So if you have a stance on baby murdering, like, and how much of a good thing that is, I can try to make an argument of how you might think that way. So it's like, oh, okay. So I correctly understand you.
You're talking to John, right?
What? He's not murdered any babies.
Look at his shirt.
Okay.
Pro baby murder.
Shame. Shame.
That just means I like girls that swallow.
Oh, John, you did not. Everything's sexual with you, man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Girls.
That's all he
No
got.
arguments there.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I think education is definitely, I feel like when it comes to a lot of the social issues, education is probably my go-to prime thing. It's like, you guys, I mean, I guess the world needs to educate themselves. They need to be kinder, and they don't get that with just the tools that they already have. It's like you have to pull from here and there.
I don't need to educate. I know everything, and I don't have to prove that.
He's right.
I feel like he's learned something.
Fuck are you eating now?
What not to do.
The rest of the cookie, it's a tough one to get down.
You want a gummy worm?
That's a
I
tough
fed.
cookie.
Is that what you threw at him?
What happened?
Why do you think he's behaving now?
Can you feed?
Gave him
Can
a
you
treat.
seriously feed him like from your mouth like a mama bird?
We don't
No.
feed him. He thinks he's
He's
people.
very excited.
So how are we not talking about the fact that that Robert De Niro is a father at
Yeah,
age 79?
Congratulations.
Yeah, you guys.
I just wanted to say congratulations.
What was his face like when he found out he was going to be a father?
He was like,
Still got it.
I wish. Was that you that said that? I was like, how the fuck did he just?
I fucked my wife. I fucked my wife.
You fuck my wife.
I fucked my wife.
This is where we need to be a video podcast. Holy shit balls!
You think I fucked my wife? Because I fucked my wife.
but he's got like a lot more of that breath. He's like,
You know, I fucked my wife. Did I fuck my wife?
you said it. You know.
What the fuck did you do?
Did
That
I
sounds
fuck
like
my wife?
Leo.
Did I
No,
fuck
it's
my
from
wife? Did I fuck
whatever
my
that
wife?
fucking movie is.
Like
Did you
Bradley
fuck?
Cullen.
Did you fuck my wife? Oh, I fucked my wife.
You sound nothing.
I'm over here.
Apparently.
I'm fucking 79 years old.
I'm 79 years
I
old.
fuck my
and
wife.
I fuck my wife.
You
My
think
wife
I fuck my
fucked
wife?
me. And then now
Are you
we're both
talking to me?
fucked because I fucked my wife.
You talking to me?
That's not even close to Robert De
It sounds
Niro.
perfect.
That sounds
You
more
guys
like
just don't listen to him enough. It's
fucking
perfect.
whoopee. That sounds like you're fucking.
Just pull him up. It's
It sounds like Jim Varney.
You're
more than
fucking-
it does Robert.
You guys are just crazy because I
Fred
fucked my
Durst,
I fucked
Bill
my wife.
Cosby sounds more.
Did you fuck my wife? I fucked my wife.
What is happening?
Fucking sounds. I don't even know.
I'm walking here.
Oh God, this table again.
Pull me up, Robert. Sounds perfect. See,
You gotta
It's
turn your
Asha.
mic.
I shouldn't.
What the fuck? It went into a porno.
It's Cape Fear.
it's very walk sounds.
Yeah, I'm here to fuck my wife.
So talking. All right. Anyways, he fucked his wife.
Lonnie sounds
He's
like a
father
guy
at
on his
79.
deathbed.
You know what that means, though? It's like he's not going to be waking up to take care of the baby.
Nope.
Like I'm above
He's-
it. I'm fucking Robert De Niro.
That's
You're-
like, how does that even work? How is his jizz even still
he's the
ain't
bull.
his.
Man.
capable?
He's the bull.
When
Oh,
did this
man.
happen?
Raging bull.
It's got to be like something he ate that just.
What?
We turned Lonnie on. He went to the bathroom to go.
Rubbing one out.
Rub it.
Seven. That's a 7th child.
Really?
Yeah.
With is it his black wife?
I don't know.
I mean, he's married to a black chick, but I thought she was around the same age. I thought. I'm like,
Well,
she's
we
not.
need to be talking more about that. That she was able to have. There's no way. Well, maybe he is married to that lady that's the same age, and she's now finding out that
Oops.
he's not faithful.
Is he another Nick Cannon?
No.
God,
that's-
Nick Cannon shouldn't be reproducing, but
Yeah.
How many kids does he have?
Isn't he trying to get with Taylor Swift?
Oh, I can't blame him for that.
Well, I mean, like for pregnancy, not for
I can't blame him for that.
writing songs and.
I mean, what do you think I was like? I'm talking about like I can't blame him for that. Like, yeah, I'm trying to meet up with Taylor Swift to write songs with her.
No, I mean, like for her to write songs after
does
you
anybody have
break
a
her
guess
heart.
on Nick Cannon?
13.
Close. 12.
Is he 12?
12.
No, he'll be 13 by the
dozen.
end of this one. By this one comes out.
Jesus Christ. Nick Cannon has 12 fucking crib midgets.
And are they all different mothers?
Most of them.
I think
he
only
has,
2
like,
of
a
them.
few.
I think only 2 of them is like the same mom.
I think him and Mariah Carey had 2, didn't they?
Are you talking about Nick Cannon's kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we found out Robert De Niro he's had 19 kids.
Oh, he was here.
Christ.
No, it's 7. He's on his.
He said, Jesus Christ.
Are you my kid?
There's a quote
Did I
from
fuck you, Mom?
There's a quote from Nick Cannon from People Magazine. He's like, every day I just wake up excited as a father. Like a new father? Like every day? Oh, I got another one.
It's like, but he doesn't know all their names.
Twins with, okay, so yeah, he did have 2 with Mariah Carey. As twins with Mariah Carey.
He doesn't know all their names, though.
He thinks they're twins anyway.
Do
He's
you
like,
know?
you
These
mind-
names are terrible. by
Yeah,
the way.
they're all like fucking
Moroccan,
weird.
Monroe, Golden, Rise Messiah, Powerful Queen,
his kid's
Zion,
named Powerful.
Zillion,
Yes.
Beautiful Zeppelin,
Yep.
The kid's
Onyx
name
Ice.
is
That's
the
just-
kid's name Beautiful Zeppelin?
Yes.
Or are those 2
Beautiful-
different kids?
No,
like the
beautiful. A daughter
first net
named
middle.
Beautiful Zeppelin.
That's just a cry for attention. I mean, you got to think
a
about your
son,
kids.
Legendary
Like,
Love.
I have
A
a
daughter,
nephew named
Onyx
Legend.
Ice. That's a stripper for sure.
I mean,
And
that's,
what do you think Beautiful Zeppelin's going to be?
don't you think that's like
An
you should have
artist.
thought,
Rich.
thought
An
about?
artist in a wicker hut.
You think your kid's gonna get
Drug
picked on?
addict.
Beautiful Zeppelin.
I mean, to me,
Zen.
that's just like that's.
In
Oh,
therapy.
Zen died at 5
Think about your
months old.
kids. You're gonna name them something
Brain
like that.
cancer.
You're not thinking about them. Like later on in life, they're gonna get bullied and
And
picked
Halo
on so
Marie.
much because of their name.
Golden Sagan.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Because you named your, I don't know,
Zoravel and Mayanka?
Mayanka,
Mayanka.
Maya.
My uncle what?
I call
Maya-
it Maya for short, but it's Mayanka.
Maya Angelou has one of my favorite quotes.
And Zoravel. Zoravel, I thought I made that name up, but it was actually Zoravel Hurst, who was a really cool author way back in like the 1910s, 20s or so. A well-known black
That's
author.
popcorn.
No,
Oh, that's Orville Redenbacher.
Orville.
If you enjoyed this podcast, well, that's not all. Stay tuned next week for the continuation of this episode, whenever these things come out. Shalom.